On the ground, whispers of the cold wind, they sing stories of grief. Red eyes stare from the top of the abyss. Black wings of silence, they tell stories never seen before. Fly high, dark crow, take the pain from this place. In your feathers all the weight of endless secrets. Eternal cry of the dead, echoes of despair. Sharp beak brings with it the harbinger of doom. Fly high, dark crow, take the pain from this place. In your feathers all the weight of endless secrets. There is no light in this corner, only the crow on the balcony. What does it reveal to those who see?
seasons don't fear the reaper, nor do the wind or the sun or the rain. We can be like they are. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. Baby, take my hand. Don't fear the reaper. You'll be able to fly. Valentine is done here, but now they're gone. Romeo and Juliet are together in eternity. Romeo and Juliet, women every day. And Juliet, and women every day, like they are. Come on, baby, don't fear the reaper. Baby, take my hand. Don't fear the reaper. You'll be able to fly. Don't fear the reaper. Baby, I'm your man. La 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 la. La 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 la. Love of two is one. Here, but now they're gone. Came the last night of sadness, and it was clear that you couldn't go on. And the door was open and the wind appeared. The candles blew, then disappeared. The curtains flew, then he appeared. Don't be afraid. Come on, baby. She had no shoes. She to him, and they start to fly. They look backwards and say goodbye. She had become like they are. She had taken his hand. She had become like they are. Come on, baby. Don't fear the reaper. You'll be able to fly. La 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 la. La 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 la.
I'm here somewhere. I am. I'm here somewhere. I know I am. There. And I still got lightning going on. Oh yeah. Okay, let's shut that out. Good evening, my beautiful crime family on this Friday evening. I know you're all wondering about what how it went in surgery. They didn't get done what they had to get done. They tried going into my wrist, and I kept telling them I got so much scar tissue. That was my 35th surgery in 18 years. So the next one is on February 18th. And they're going to go in through my groin and go look around in my heart to see how much damage was done. They think I had a heart attack when they flew me to Fargo. I'm kind of debating that. I think I had a very massive anxiety attack and I didn't recognize it until I was actually in the emergency room. Um, but they're saying the anxiety attack could be caused by a heart attack with water on the heart, congestive heart failure, which I've had before. I did gain 10 pounds in a week, which was I was aware of. Um, so we won't know until February 18th. Anyway, so that's how that went. Anyway, let's get to saying hi to my beautiful crime family. I can't, there's too many to say hi to everybody. Oh, wait a minute. I got to keep scrolling down here. Okay, so yeah, good to see you, Bev Marks, Teresa R. Good to see you, Leah Story, my girl. Good to see you, Michelle Is, or good to see you, Donna Salman. Man, good to see you, Debbie Gazzardo, my girl. Good to see you. Jane Kendall, good to see you. Moonlight, good to see you. Charisma Craft, good to see you. Uh, Natural Healing, my girl, good to see you. Julie Felina, good to see you. Kane, good to see you. Debbie Gazzardo, my girl, good to see you. Woke Up, good to see you. Not saying, not asking, and not a stroke. No, I don't think so. Good to see you. Randy Fur, good to see you. Thomas, my brother, good to see you. And KL Wingate, good to see you. Debbie Boston, good to see you. Kim B, good to see you. Donna Shaw, good to see you. Cryptic Conversions, good to see you. Charisma Craft, good to see you. Heather Fitzgerald, good to see you, girl. Sherry Urban, good to see you. And everybody, good to see you on this Friday evening. I watched a video last night. Made me cry. And I'm going to start out with that because did you see the picture I had up there? Does anybody know what that is? I'll put it up again. Right here. This picture. Do you know what that is? Anybody? All right. A lot of people do. Yeah, well, I'm going to show a video that explains this and what this is. And like I said, last night it made me cry. So let's get to this. And then I'm going to go over why I've changed my mind. I've changed my mind on something. And I'm going to go over it after I show you this video. Which one is it? This one, I do believe. Yes. This came from. I like watching her. sometimes she does go the opposite way, and sometimes she goes our way. She jumps around a little bit, but she's always really good. And but this one broke my heart, and I I think you'll see why. I'm going to put this up there. Okay, so this is Sonia D. All right. If you haven't subscribed to her, it'd be a good idea too.
Wait, whose dog is it? Haley's. Wait, whose dog is it? Haley's.
A new video has surfaced that I don't think you're ready for. This is confirmation that the garbage people thought was outside of 11:22, the morning of or the afternoon of the unalivings of the Idaho 4 were garbage bags, when people thought, but half the people thought it was people draped in blankets. This is confirmation that it was people. And I've always thought it was people, but this is confirmation. I'm going to play the video now for you guys. I don't know who Megan Rowe is, but this is who posted it on a reel on the book face. But I grabbed it right away to show you guys. And they're talking about Murphy.
Wait, whose dog is it? Haley's. Wait, whose dog is it? Haley's.
And based on the fact that they mentioned Maddie Mogan's name and that it's Kaylee's dog, this Megan person must know them. So, and it's not a big town, so it's quite apparent that she knew Maddie and Kaylee and Murphy, and that those people sitting outside, and there's also what appears to be Murphy outside there with them. This is so heartbreaking, and this is what's going to happen. The closer we are to this case, to the trial, we're going to see more and more of these videos surface.
Wait, whose dog is it? Haley's.
Now you can see right there that is definitely people here. This might be garbage behind here, but there's 4 people sitting right here. And what is really sad is this one right here. This is what broke my heart last night. And I'm going to tell you why I've changed my mind, and I think you're going to know why after you've seen this whole video.
Wait, whose dog is it? Haley's.
You can see there that there are several people sitting down. I zoomed it right in for you guys. You can see there's plenty of people sitting down. I don't actually see Murphy, so I might have been mistaken. I just assumed with her saying, wait, whose dog is that Murphy was there. I don't see him, but if you guys can see him, let me know. I just see a bunch of people, though, sitting down. There was no trash, you guys. No trash. Never was.
In this video, I'm going to show you video footage perspective that brings to light what the police have already informed the public of. But before I I share with you, you need to understand a few things and why I'm doing this. Police told us that friends did gather before the 911 call was made, and multiple people were already at the house when the police arrived on scene. They referred to these individuals as friends. I'm going to share a point of view from a friend of the victims and surviving roommates who came to me because she felt safe in the way that I talk about her friends and how I loudly defend facts first over harmful speculation. Use your common sense and your own logic. Why I'm making this video. Just like when the media tells us that they have unknown source and they give you details, this is no different than that. I have witnessed and learned from the beginning of this case how dangerously far people take speculation. We have witnessed how people have called this house a rug house. They say their friends came before police to clear the scene, or how people even took Kaylee's ex-boyfriend Jack and labeled him as the killer with having zero proof. Point of this friend's perspective that I share with you is to hopefully remind people of the rawness and the realness of what it's like to witness your friends being brutally murdered, to witness your friends isolate themselves from what they survived, and how these real people have to deal with how ugly complete strangers can be to people's real pain. I'm going to play the clip and explain the point of view of this friend.
Wait, whose dog is it?
Kaylee's.
Now you know that those aren't bags of trash, but exactly what the police said. You see friends of the victims. Here is the perspective of the person recording. It was the morning before we really knew what was happening. She was in her apartment with a view directly down Queen Road, and she saw cop cars pulling in. Everyone was looking over there to figure out who was missing from the group of friends outside. People gathered by the curb, and in the clip, you heard her and her friend who see a dog but didn't see Kaylee. She shared how it was hard to watch from afar, and the university had sent out an email to the students, and even Laytall sending out a text that there had been a homicide on King Road. Friend watched police talk to Bethany, watched police take the ring camera from the blue house, watched as they took Murphy out of the house into a cop car, and claims that she saw Jack arrive on scene. The cops asking him to show his hands. She said every male, including Jack, were all asked by police to walk with their hands in front of them like they were holding a platter. Police were looking for visible wounds. Jack went to the police station for questioning and ended up being able to take Murphy. This person's direct quote is, "I hope that this helps people understand the pure fear and anxiety, knowing that something terrible had happened to our friends." And shared her social medias with me, and she shared her Greek life that she shared with Xana, Dylan, Bethany, Kaylee, Maddie. Many people's lives have changed. And she told me that Dylan and Bethany are such sweet girls, and it's hard to witness what their friends continue to endure considering what they all have been through. And in this quick 6-second clip, you see what she told me, someone in a pink hoodie. She says that it's Hunter Chapin. And maybe you think that this clip isn't anything, but this clip takes the only photo that floats out on the internet and it brings you a video perspective, a friend's perspective. So when people consume content or make any comments publicly about this investigation, I want to remind you, the people that are reading your comments are actually friends, sorority sisters, family members. And I hope that this message is received about how harmful speculation can be in the sense of hurting people even more than they're already hurting. And to anyone who takes this clip, whether you screen record it, because I'm not new to the internet, so be it. But you best make sure that if you screen record this video of information that's not out there and you try to twist a narrative from this friend's perspective, I'm going to have something to say about that.
I just saw London's video sharing this exact video as well. And I second what London has said. I know that I've been judgmental when it comes to the surviving roommates for the most part, because we don't know anything, right? But this video, as London said, puts everything into a perspective from a friend's point of view, where they can see the people that are sitting by the curb. And I guess the one in the pink hoodie is Hunter Chapin, which is Ethan's brother, twin brother. And Murphy is there. We just only see a 6-second clip. But I'm going to piggyback off London. And a lot of speculation has been made in this case. And I've been one to speculate as well. I'm not a saint by any means when it comes to that. However, I do have integrity and morals, and I can realize when I'm wrong. So in regards to that, like, I definitely feel for, and I've never said I don't feel for these people. Absolutely not. I do absolutely feel for them. It must have been so hard to be there in that moment for Jack, because he came right away. And I guess from what London said, her, like, all the guys that were there, they had to show their hands and everything. And whenever Jack was cleared, he was able to take Murphy home. But Murphy had been put into a cop car, and that's where Murphy was. So I thought he was in the bundle of people, but he was actually in the cop car. But nonetheless, as I said in the previous video, we're going to see maybe more perspectives like this. And we do need to keep an empathetic mind on this, because this was not an easy situation for them to go through. It wasn't. It was so sad. Like, it's so sad. And it's gotten all of us so invested in this case since 2022. I've never stopped talking about it. I advocate for Kaylee, Maddie, Ethan, and Xana. I want justice for them. That is what is most important in everything that I've ever said. That is what's most important. And just hearing London put it all into, like, the fact that this person trusted her and everything, I respect that. It's amazing. And I think we have to do better. And my friend Melissa, she was right. Like, we talked about it this morning. Like, you know, supposedly, like, just from feeling that Dylan and Bethany and all them were sweethearts. And unless you're put into that situation and that predicament, and that, you don't know how you're going to react. So, you know, like, I apologize in regards to saying anything that I did. Like, I just questioned the 8-hour time difference, the time, not the time difference, but the time gap between calling 911. And, you know, I find it very odd. And I think that's the only thing that I can say that's really hurtful towards Dylan. Do I think she's involved? No. I just think the 8-hour gap is weird. And that goes for Bethany as well, because they were both survivors. They both came out of this. Like, they're not victims by any means, but they are witnesses. Anyways, I've said too much, but this video is, wow. It's really sad. It's really sad. And I did not post the video to disrespect the one who posted it on the book face, but I did see it. And of course, I grab everything that's new in the Idaho case and I post it here for my viewers, because we all are wondering. Anyways, yeah, I know my empathetic self is going to, like, I don't want to get emotional, because it is so just seeing that little 6-second clip, you guys, it really got to my heart. And I feel so bad for them. I feel so bad for them. And it's been 2 years, and it's not getting any better, you know. If anything, it's getting worse, because we're getting to trial. We're going to know more, you know. And so justice for Kaylee, Maddie, Ethan, and Xana is absolutely what matters the most in all of this. I'm just really thankful that Megan put out that video so people can stop speculating on that. There's just nothing but speculation. And again, I'm guilty of it but I always thought it looked like people, but a lot of people thought it was trash bags and whatnot. Anyways, we're not going to go into that anymore, but at least that's been debunked, and we can move on and do better for the friends of the victims, their family, all their families. Like, I'm sure they're so pissed off when they come on here and see all kinds of people going down stupid ass rabbit holes, like there was tunnels and it was a rug house and whatnot. Like, the rug theory, I've also like questioned in the past, based on rumors, right? I'm guilty of it, but do I think that now? No. So, you know, but those people that still think that, I think you guys need to stop thinking that. You know, I don't know. I've said too much again. Anyways, I'm just going to stop here. But thank you for watching.
Okay. That last night made me cry, and it did, because of some other videos I watched along with this, for one thing. It's hard to talk about this for me, because I have speculated on Dylan very, very much. And Bethany, and everybody. One person I never really speculated about was Hunter Chapin. Now, I want you to picture this, all right? And how you would feel if you were the brother and your brother was in a house right there, and that you're hearing that he was dead. How would you feel? And you couldn't go help him, and you were just sitting by a garbage can looking on, wondering what happened to your brother. That, and then think of the friends too. There is friends out there that weren't involved, and they had to watch this go down, knowing that some of their friends were gone, waiting to hear any news that they could hear. Sometimes I think we get that because I know they come in here. And they might be in here right now. Friends that aren't involved. And they do go into other channels. And it's got to hurt them, listening to all the speculation. when it comes to Dylan, and I have speculated a lot about her. I swore up and down that it was her running to the truck at 4:23 a.m. and jumping in the back seat. I don't think that anymore. And one of the reasons why, because I seen her that day being escorted out by a police officer, and she had pigtails, and she looked like she had just got out of bed. Now let's talk about something a little more. They went to a party that night. She was drunk. She did not even know if it was a dream or not. How easy would it be to sleep from 4:30 a.m. till almost noon when you're that drunk? Pretty frickin' easy. Pretty easy. They were friends. So I have a hard time. I'm going to have a hard time from now on speculating about Dylan. I'm going to have a hard time. We know that Bethany might have some information that could free Brian. But I'm going to try hard, put it that way. I'm going to try hard not to speculate about Dylan. That 8 hours is weird, but not that weird if you're really drunk. Really drunk and maybe some other stuff. And then you wake up. Now, I'm going to show you the next video. And you're going to see what I mean about certain things. And this is from, I think, 2 years ago from one of my favorite channels. Is this the one? Yeah. Okay. So this is from Bedtime Stories. And I used to, I was watching this before this case even, before November 23rd, 22. I've been watching this channel for a long time. And I do like it. And this is called the 911 call and what people who were there say happened. People that were there say happened. The 911 call. Here we go.
Welcome to Bed Crime Stories podcast. I'm your host, T. Hope you guys doing well. Let's jump right in. The 4 slain students from the University of Idaho were only discovered deceased after a 911 call was placed on the morning of Sunday, November 13th, 2022. That call came into the Moscow Police Department just before noon and was said to have originated from one of the 2 unharmed roommates' phones. The police have yet to name the roommate whose phone was used. Note that we now know that there was a 3rd roommate as well. The authorities have stated that that person was not staying at the home at 1122 King Road in Moscow during the period when the crime occurred. During the 911 call, multiple people spoke to the 911 dispatch operator. They told the operator that there was an unconscious person requiring assistance. Some of the people who were allegedly at the home when the 911 call was placed have made Facebook and Instagram posts about what went down during this period on Sunday morning, post the crime, in order to defend the actions of the two surviving roommates. Because the police have yet to release the names of the students present at the house that morning, we cannot be 100% sure that these posts are legitimate. And we've seen creepy people create fake posts about true crime cases before. However, I thought it might be worthwhile to hear what these alleged witnesses had to say. Here is one of the posts, and I quote, and I'm just going to read a section of it and then talk about it and then continue with another section and so on. I am not stating this as fact. This is all not confirmed, hence the flare. For some reason, people refuse to see that, so I needed to re-emphasize. If you do not like reading not confirmed information, then do not read. Saw this comment on Facebook and wanted to share it here because it clarifies everything and to stop people from speculating about the survivors. Supposedly, a few days after the crime, someone was asking a question on the victim's past Instagram post about the survivors. Two of the people who were at the house with the roommates when the call was made quickly came to their defense, and this is supposedly what they said. Keep in mind, this is all alleged. Two people who claimed to be at the house with the roommates when the bodies were discovered quickly came to the surviving roommates' defense and wrote that the roommates woke up, went upstairs to the kitchen, noticed the sliding glass door was opened, and it was during that time they discovered Ethan. They didn't say where he was found on the floor, but that it was horrific, that both girls went into shock and ran out of the house. One of the roommates fainted, and the other was beyond hysterical and not making any sense. Their frantic actions while coming out of the house caught the attention of people walking past. The people responded on the victim's IG, claimed to be two of those people. They implied that the roommate who fainted had already dialed 911, but was so distraught that she fainted before she could give any info that the dispatcher.
Now, try to imagine this. Try to imagine this. You were drinking all night, you're drunk, and you get up, and the first thing you see when you walk up, and it's going to get into this more with a different video, I think, that they suspect that Ethan was actually found in the kitchen. So let's say you come out of your bedroom and you see blood all over the place, and you see your friend laying there. And how would you act? This person, one of the victims, ran out the door and went unconscious because of what? Was that the frozen shock phase, people? Was that where the frozen shock phase came? Not when she opened the door and seen a guy with a black ski mask. That frozen shock phase, in my opinion, was probably when they seen what was there. I'll keep it going.
Could understand. The only info that the bystander.
The thing is, this makes sense. It makes sense.
who picked up the roommate's phone could give the 911 dispatcher was she just saw her friend run out of the house and faint. That's how the 911 call was made on the roommate's phone and by someone else, and why the call went out for an unconscious person. While that bystander was on the phone with 911, the other roommate was hysterically trying to explain that something was wrong with Ethan. By this point, several more people had stopped to see what was happening, and one or two of them went into the house to see if they could help him. There were multiple people in the yard at that time, and those people began contacting their friends that someone in the house was badly hurt. Someone called Ethan's brother Hunter to tell him something was wrong with his brother because he lived close to the house, and someone called one of the other victims' boyfriend, as he was also Ethan's best friend. They didn't go into detail on if either of those boys had arrived before the paramedics did, but it did kind of sounded like they did. They also didn't say if anyone went to check on the other roommates before the paramedics arrived, but it somewhat implied that someone had. The only details they gave about the scene itself was that it was incomprehensible, bloody. While those people were in the house checking on Ethan and possibly the other roommates, the paramedics arrived to a very chaotic scene, believing they were there to assess an unconscious person outside, but were redirected to go inside to help someone who was hurt very badly. So they walked into the house unaware that it was a crime scene, contaminated most of everything on the second floor. End quote. This scenario actually makes some sense. Why do I say that? Let me explain. Well, if one of the unharmed students ran out of the house and fainted, that would be an unconscious person. No one is going to mistake an unconscious person from a deceased person who has multiple messy wounds. And if the roommate who fainted was already in the middle of dialing 911 before she fainted, someone else would have to have picked up her phone to speak to the 911 dispatch operator. That would explain why someone other than the roommate who owned the phone was speaking to the dispatch operator, and why only an unconscious person was mentioned during the call. The only weak part of this scenario is the bit about the second roommate. I know they say she was in shock and unable to clearly articulate what she may have just witnessed inside the home, but you'd think she could spit out maybe two words like dead body, right? But maybe not. People react differently to traumatic events. Maybe that second roommate really could not speak clearly at the point when the 911 call was taking place. Maybe she was panicked and unable to function. Perhaps only after the 911 call was made and completed, other people showed up and went inside the home. There, they discovered Ethan on the floor, allegedly. There have been persistent rumors about Ethan Chapin being found on the kitchen floor, so this scenario would make sense. Let me continue reading the post. It doesn't sound like the roommates were roaming throughout the house, carelessly contaminating everything, fully aware that their friends had been done in. They actually used the red rum word, but I didn't want to say that. Okay, back to the post. It sounds like the scene was contaminated by numerous people who were trying to help, unaware and unable to comprehend what they were looking at, and that it was a crime scene. My heart breaks for these two poor, innocent young females. Not only have they experienced a trauma so brutal that it cannot change who they are at their core, but they also have to live with the fear that someone might be coming for them, and the grief of loss of 4 friends, plus a life that they once had that will never exist again. Back
We have to look, if we're going to speculate, I'm speculating this right here. Can you imagine what it would be like? And yes, I can see it, sleeping 8 hours. I can see that. And if there was people screaming and stuff, that they might, she didn't even know if it was a dream, if she was so fucked up she didn't even know what she was doing. And I think that's going to come out in trial, or how fucked up she was. When I seen that picture of her with those pigtails, and I'm listening to this stuff, I can see how it happened about the 8 hours. Believe it or not, I can see it. But again, I'm speculating. Again, I'm speculating. It is speculation. But I'm going to watch from now on what I speculate about, because I speculated this whole time about Dylan jumping in the back seat because it's a girl with long hair. Well, you know, and tall. But there's a lot of tall girls with long hair in Moscow, Idaho, going, you know, in the sororities. And look at who the 4 that were running. I showed you who they were. The 4 that were running, we know who they were. The black and white sweater guy, the girl with the bun, the cowboy hat, the gray hoodie. I showed you who they were. And we didn't think, when we just thought it was 4 people running by, we didn't know who they were. But would we have guessed them? No, we were speculating, you know, everybody else but those 4 people. But that's who it turned out to be. What was their involvement? So anyway, that's my thoughts on this right now. I'm going to keep this
Back
going.
to the post. And if that wasn't traumatizing enough, they also get to live with millions of people publicly criticizing, persecuting, and incorrectly judging them for their actions. People assume they may have or not have taken. Some of the comments left on the IG pictures of the victims, especially the ones the survivors were tagged in, were beyond nasty, if not downright cruel. I don't understand how our society became so inhumane. It sounds like the 2 surviving roommates' behaviors were 100% appropriate for the situation they found themselves in, and I agree. Like I said, this all is alleged, but I think it explains a lot. I am marking this as information rather than theory, because I am not making a theory myself. I'm just relaying information given by the individuals who were there when the call was made. Edit. We are all aware of the police's unconscious explanation. This post is not asking about how the police explained it. This post is relaying what the person who was there said about the call when it happened, according to someone in a Facebook group. What you choose to believe is your business, but legally, the police can say or withhold whatever information they want and have an incentive to hide this information because it reveals how contaminated the crime scene is and would make their chance of finding the person responsible even worse. I am sharing this knowing what the police's press release said because it doesn't take away from what the person said and can still offer a fresh perspective. End quote. So I ask yet again, is there any truth to this story? Have we seen anything to support this scenario? Well, early on, I did hear from a news source that Ethan's parents learned of his death from their other children who also attend the University of Idaho. So there's that. Also, there has been a persistent rumor floating around the true crime streets that Ethan Chapin was found on the floor. The police have not said that, but this has come up in many a Reddit post. Of course, we cannot trust Reddit, but sometimes truth is shared there. And recently, a photo taken from outside the house, looking into the kitchen window, showed more of those reddish hue drips of what looks to be the stuff that runs through all our veins on some kitchen cabinetry. The rivulets in this photo from the kitchen, the drips, match those seen on an exterior wall of the home. If those drips in the kitchen turn out to be the red stuff that runs through our veins, it would seem to indicate that someone who is bleeding or someone with a fair amount of that red stuff on their clothes and body was standing, at least for a second, next to the cabinetry. The rivulets indicate that the substance began at the top of the cabinet and gravity made it flow downward toward the floor. So either one of the students who was injured or the perpetrator, who was likely drenched in red, was standing there at some point. But of course, we don't yet know if the substance dried on the kitchen cabinetry is truly the red stuff, although that pattern on the cabinetry looks identical to the one that we saw on the exterior wall of the house. The only people who have shared information about where the students were found deceased are 1. The Latah County coroner, who stated that all the students were found deceased in bed, and 2. Kaylee Gonsalves's father, who let it slip at the candlelight vigil held in honor of his daughter and her 3 friends, that Kaylee was found deceased in bed with her best friend, Maddie Mogan. Now, if Ethan's brother did turn up at the house on Sunday morning, he and Ethan's best friend likely did some additional checking at the house. I'm pretty sure they would have been curious to see if Ethan's girlfriend, Xana Coronado, was okay. And if they found her as well, they would have likely headed up to the 3rd floor where they would have come upon Kaylee and Maddie. This would explain why we've heard friends were in the home and they may have contaminated the crime scene to some extent. We also heard that when the paramedics came and went inside and found a gruesome crime scene instead of one unconscious person, they were shocked. This scenario would explain all of that, and it would also explain what seemed like odd behavior by the 2 surviving roommates. Many people have attacked these 2 roommates, which is unfair. Can you imagine how traumatized these young women are at this point? No matter what, they were there in that house, either sleeping or awake, when the crime went down. What do you guys think? Could this be how the 911 call went down? Does it seem plausible to you? Let me know in the comments.
Okay. I want to thank Bedtime Stories there. That's a really good channel too. If you're not subbed to her, so definitely sub to her. Yes, I've been a fan of hers for a long time. But she brought up some good points there, and of how that 911 call could have went down, and said by someone that was there, supposedly, allegedly. And I can see that happening. And the story of Ethan being found in the kitchen. Well, do you remember? Do you remember they were all in the kitchen? Do you remember that? And they were all looking down, and we were wondering why they were looking down, and someone was actually bending down. I mean, down like on their knees or at least on the, squatting. Do you remember that? In the kitchen? It could very well be that Ethan was found in the kitchen, and that, the police are trying to, if they're doing their investigation, they're not going to say some things, and they're not going to say like where everybody was found. They don't want that information out because when they interview people, if it's something that they don't know and they say, that Ethan was found in the kitchen, then there's like, how do you know that? I mean, they try to keep some stuff locked up. And what that tells me, why they're keeping this all and so many redactions and keeping this stuff shut down. You know why I think that is? Because I think there is the investigation is ongoing. The investigation is ongoing. That would be the only reason to keep this stuff shushed up. The case is ongoing. Because I don't think that they're that confident in their case. And I do believe, in my opinion, it's going to get dismissed. So anyway, that's that. I got to keep it moving here, though. I do have some other stuff. Let me see. Is that? Okay, yeah. I'm going to Bubbly Waters. I forgot to put her in the link, I think. I'm going to Bubbly because I want you to see something. Now, I put the same thing out a long time ago, but I want you to be reminded of it. Let me get this going. Okay, right here, and it's listed, who's driving the same car that pulled out at 423? Is she carrying Murphy? Now, do you remember me when this first came out? I was one of the first ones to grab that. When Get a Clue left them, everybody was grabbing it. I was one of the first ones to grab that thing, man. I grabbed them all, like the 6 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock in the morning. Now, I want you to check this out here. $6:34 in the morning. Okay, so the same vehicle comes back. This is at 6:34 in the morning. The same vehicle is going to come back and parks in the same exact spot it left from at 4:23 a.m. Watch. Here it comes. Now what I want you to watch for is this gal carrying Murphy. Yeah, and they're blasting the music at 6:30 something. These people are still partying. These people are still drinking and whatever. That's my opinion. Okay. Teapot, right here. Here. The door's opening. You see her, Karen Murphy? You see that? You see that? Back that up a little bit. You can see her, Karen Murphy. Watch, here's the car door, and look at what she's carrying right there. She's carrying Murphy. Look at that. Back it up again in a little bit. Watch, she gets that one part. Right there. You can see her carrying it. The dog. There she goes. Towards 1122. She parks over here and she's walking towards 1122. And that's what I wanted to show you. Exactly. Who is that girl? Now, before I would have said it was Dylan. I'm not going to say that anymore because I really believe I'm starting to see how that 8 hours could have happened if you were really drunk. And when I seen her in piggy tails, and I mean, you could tell she was right. She was in bed. And the person that jumped into that truck at 4:23 a.m. did not have pigtails. She just had long hair, and she was tall. I'm not going to blame this on Dylan. Now, there was talk about and stated in court, I do believe, about running up the stairs or down up the stairs, or no, down the stairs, up the stairs, and down the stairs, or whatever, but ends up in downstairs. So that's not Kaylee or Maddie, in my opinion. That's Xana or Ethan. Because they ran up the stairs and down the stairs, right? Or whatever. They ended up downstairs. Yeah, 2 braids. Okay, not pigtails. Whatever I'm not into the styles or anything, Hunter. Yeah, they're braids. She had 2 braids. And it just looked like she was ready. She just got out of bed. And so I'm just not going to go there anymore with her. But somebody at 6:36 here a.m. is carrying what looks like Murphy heading towards 1122, parking way over here at Linda Lane and walking towards 1122 with a dog in her hands. A dog that's fluff, that's curly. You can tell it has curls. Who is it? Is it one of the 4? The girl with the bun? Is it the cowboy hat girl? Is it who? That's the ones that we know for sure were involved in the run by. Who do we know for sure without speculating? Without speculating at all. Go with the facts. The facts are those 4 were running, and you can see who they are. Those we can verify. We can verify that on video. And I have verified that. For the people that have watched that video, I have verified who those 4 are. There's more of them. There's altogether like 8 of them. But I verified 4 of them. But somebody right here was delivering Murphy back. Now, just because I'm going to at least rethink and I have rethought about Dylan, especially Dylan and Bethany, doesn't mean that I agree with her on, even though they looked at the hands of everybody, because on the 4chan, they talked about remember when they were thinking about doing this, like before it happened, like what they would do, and they would wear, like, what was it, like welding gloves or something, some kind of gloves that I mean, there's those gloves out there that you could take and stab you and whack yourself and everything, and nothing happens. So showing your hands doesn't mean anything anymore. So has this case brought it to a new level in M's and red rums? Has this brought it to a new level? Scary thought, because they're coming out with too much lights that hide faces. It's just this crime has brought this kind of a crime up a few notches, where it's more intense and more complicated. Okay, what else I got going here? Let's see. Now, I hope you all realize that when I do shows, a lot of times I put videos together so it has one message or a few different messages, but all these videos are tied together, or at least most of what I do. And this is another one, and this is from 6 ABC Philadelphia. Believe it or not. And here we go.
This morning, stunning revelations in a Boise courtroom as Brian Koberger's defense team tries to paint the investigation as flawed and shrouded in secrecy in an effort to get key evidence thrown out.
This is a situation where this identification was done in complete secret behind closed doors.
The former PhD student accused of stabbing 4 University of Idaho students to death in an off-campus home, while his lead defense attorney, Ann Taylor, reveals details of a surviving roommate's interview with authorities in the aftermath of the gruesome quadruple homicide.
There are 2 references to not remembering. A couple of days later, there's the 3rd interview, and there's references to not remembering, being drunk, a statement, I don't know any of it. like half this stuff. I don't know if it's a dream or if it's real. And credibility.
Now, can you see that happening? Being that drunk? I've been there. I've been there. That's how I can relate to that story. Because I have been that drunk and messed up. Yes, some other stuff too at one time in my life. I can see it.
Is really
The thing is, the police didn't report everything that Dylan was saying. And it seems like Dylan is the one that's telling the truth.
important when that person is relied on in the investigation.
Taylor added the roommate told police she had been drinking and that she also heard one of the victims come up and down the stairs during the time of the attack.
They know that fact is wrong.
Taylor says that information was never provided to the judge at the time, laying the groundwork for her to question the beginning of the investigation and collection of evidence, including DNA that authorities say was found on the button snap of a knife sheath at the crime scene. Authorities using investigative genetic genealogy to link Koberger to the crime, a tactic Taylor has long argued is flawed.
Investigative genetic genealogy, or IgG, is the process by which law enforcement will take a sample of DNA and initially probably run it through what's called CODIS, a federal criminal database. But if there's no hit there, then law enforcement can take that DNA to a genetic genealogy database and see if they can take information from that database to see if that sample is related to someone.
Koberger's DNA was later matched to trash pulled from the Pennsylvania neighborhood where he was with his parents when arrested. Koberger's lawyers, who say he is innocent, accuse the FBI of not having a warrant to work with the trash collection company.
I think it is different when you have the FBI telling the trash man what to do.
An individual has no expectation of privacy as to what they throw out into the trash. And so law enforcement wouldn't need to get a warrant to check what they call as an abandonment sample.
The prosecution countering, saying no rights were violated and that they relayed the evidence based on what they knew at the time.
And there is nothing obtained that was obtained in violation of any of the defendant's constitutional rights. The defendant has wholly failed to establish a single false statement or omission.
Anyway, I got to the point I wanted to get to on that anyway. And I do believe Ann's probably going to lose that part of the case on the garbage pickup, because once you release the garbage, it's garbage from what I hear. But anyway, I wanted to show you that just to get across that one point. And let me get to the next thing here. And we're going to run. Hold on here. And we're going to run a friend, a very quick one. And this is Tell It to Ellie, our friend, Ellie. Here we go. More to Brent Kopaka meets the eye. Who swatted him? How was the corner club involved? And this was put out yesterday.
Hey, y'all. Thanks for stopping by my channel. So I still have a lot of questions about Kopaka, and why does it seem like I keep finding so many potential Papa Rogers out there? Let me know your thoughts at the end, and I hope you're having a wonderful night. Thanks, y'all.
Okay, watch. You got to watch on screen on this one. Okay, so Brent Kopaka is also Kopaka Macy, all right? John Kopaka. And look at Rogers. Rogers, Tycom.net. R. Rogers. Isn't that weird? And that is Kopaka. Showalter. He led them to their death? Question mark. Everyone knew what was going to happen. Everyone except the girls. Ethan was happy to be sacrificed. I don't know about that. He walked on water and was buried at the bottom. I don't know what that says. Again, I'm not going to stop speculating on this man right here. I mean, tell me that isn't that guy right there at Linda Lane. This is a Linda Lane picture. Tell me it's not him. So, Kopaka, did he know something? Was he trying to tell us something? Is that why he was swatted out? These are things that we can question. Question isn't speculating. I'm not speculating. I'm asking. Did he know something? Was he trying to tell us something? Was he involved? I'm kind of looking at what's being said all over here. Yeah, that's true, Lindsay. Okay, typically good to see you. All right, so anyway, I want to keep moving here. I'm just going to go over this a little bit, maybe. And this is from Daily Mail. So I'll start it from the beginning. And this is from Daily Mail.
Crime scenes where murders actually show up back at the crime scene while I'm there. The game plan was to go there to kill one person. And then you go into that bedroom and that person's next to somebody else. So now you got to kill the second person. Now you hear noise downstairs and now your attention's drawn to them. And so that becomes victim 3 and 4. In this case is the ultimate horror story. This is not like what they call a misdemeanor homicide, where it's like an active criminal that gets killed. These are just normal people living their lives. This is Murder Clues.
Today we'll be plotting out every detail of the University of Idaho murders on a map.
I'm Matthew Steiner. I'm a senior crime scene analyst retired from the New York City Police Department. Let's start with the night of the murder. With any investigation, there is a timeline. What happens before the crime, what happens during the crime, and then what happens after the crime.
On the night of November 12th, 2022, University of Idaho undergraduate students and best friends Madison Mogan and Kaylee Gonsalves went out to the Corner Club bar in Moscow, Idaho.
So here's the Corner Club bar.
Meanwhile, Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle, also students at the University of Idaho, went to a frat party at the Sigma Chi House, approximately 1.4 miles across town.
Madison and Kaylee are at the grub truck here, right down the block from the Corner Club bar.
At 1:40 a.m., Madison and Kaylee left the bar and were captured on video at a local food vendor, Grub Truck, a 7-minute walk away. The men seen here in the footage of the girls at Grub Truck are not considered suspects, according to authorities.
We have suspects originally that come up that are from the Grub Truck video. So those two people come up in the investigation, of course. But investigators ruled them out pretty quickly. They're proven to be somewhere else during this crime.
All 4 victims returned home by around 2 a.m. that morning.
The murders happened here at 1122 King Road.
An hour after the students returned home, a white Hyundai Elantra appeared in surveillance video in the neighborhood.
That's part of any investigation. You want to do what they call a surveillance canvas. Any cameras that could capture routes into, out of the crime scene or at the crime scene, those need to be analyzed. You want to see who's there, who's coming and going, and certainly, in this case, vehicles that are traveling in that area. A white Hyundai Elantra is seen several times circling this area of 1122 King Road.
Despite the house being on a dead-end street, the car could be seen passing the home several times that night, including once at around 4:04 a.m.
So there's AI software that can identify vehicles, looking at the shape of it, the size of it, the number of doors, and it gives you possibilities of what that vehicle could be, and sometimes even model ranges. So I think this was like a 2011 to 13 Hyundai Elantra, white 4-door sedan. Now let's take a look at the floor plan of the house.
1122 King Road in Moscow was a 3-story, 6-bedroom home. All 4 victims were asleep on the 2nd and 3rd floors the night of the murders.
2 of the victims were found here on the 3rd floor. These victims were Madison and Kaylee. 2 of the victims are found here on the 2nd floor. This was Ethan and Xana. It is believed that the killer entered the home through the sliding glass door here on the 2nd floor of the location.
A key witness in this case is a surviving roommate who was home the night of the murders. Around 4 a.m., she reported hearing crying from the 2nd floor of the home and a man's voice saying, "It's okay, I'm going to help you."
In this case, we have a witness that lives on the 2nd floor of that location. She hears something going on during the time of the attack. This sort of evidence is what they call testimonial evidence. In any trial, you're going to have physical evidence and testimonial evidence. Testimonial evidence is what people say. What does my witness say? What does my victim say? What does my suspect say? They could be telling you the truth, they could be mistaken, or they could be lying.
The surviving roommate opened her bedroom door and witnessed a masked man standing in her house. She froze as the man walked right by her and out of the sliding glass door.
Now, why is that? Why is not victim number 5? Could be that he didn't see her as a threat. She's not blocking the doorway. And maybe he didn't see her at all. Like, his focus is on the door. I'm getting out of here. I just killed 4 people. I want to escape as quick as possible and not even notice this person. And it could be also that, like, the game plan was to go there to kill 1 person. And then you go into that bedroom and that person's next to somebody else. So now you got to kill the 2nd person. Now you hear noise downstairs. Maybe Ethan and Xana are awake and they're like, I hear somebody in the house, someone's upstairs. And now your attention's drawn to them. And so that becomes victim 3 and 4. And then number 5 just wasn't in your route. You didn't see him or they didn't pose a threat and you're wearing a mask anyway. How could they identify you? From the beginning, the police said this was a targeted attack. I'm assuming during trial, we're going to learn a lot more about this case than what we know. And it could be something very specific that he was fixated on one of the female victims. When he goes to kill the 1 girl, all these other people are collateral.
The surviving roommate that witnessed the murder in the house described him as 5'10", athletically built but not muscular, with bushy eyebrows.
She only had the opportunity to see this person for a couple seconds. What could you remember in a couple seconds? And then add in, what was the lighting like? What was your state of mind? Are you just waking up? Are you kind of groggy? Or do you think something's happening and there's this fight or flight reaction your body's going through? You're not going to remember every single detail. It's actually more suspect when someone comes with a lot of detail. They're highly detailed in the description, and they give so much minutia about, oh, the person, was wearing this style of clothes.
So yeah, I agree with him there. If there would have been too many details, that would have been more suspect. I'm really thinking she was just really fucked up. She had been out partying. I mean, think about it. They're 20, 21 years old. They're out partying. I remember when I was 21, and I'll tell you what, I partied like a beast, man. I and you have to think about that. You have to think about what really could have happened, and that 8 hours can be explained by she was just too fucked up. And I just don't. I after seeing the braids, which takes time to do for another thing, braiding the hair like that. I think she just got out of bed. And it matches the unconscious story of the 911 call. She comes running out, hysterical, dials 911 and falls down. I can see that happening. And someone else picks up the phone and says there's someone, and doesn't know. Maybe somebody that didn't know hadn't been in the house yet, didn't know. And they look down and they say, they seen Dylan go down. There's someone unconscious here. I can see that happening. Okay, let's keep moving on. As you see, there's a theme to why I'm playing all these videos. There is a theme to this. Okay, the next one. Okay, I want to play a harsh video here. And let me get to the point here. Okay, so Harsh always has good videos. And I'm going to show this one here because I thought it was very interesting. You probably maybe have seen it. If you're not, most people I think are subbed to him, but if you're not subbed to Harsh, you got to sub to him. And here he is. Oh my God, Idaho 4 early tip exposed.
Someone had walked in and reported something regarding the Idaho 4 case, and this has caused quite a stir. So first of all, for those of you who haven't seen it, I'm going to read it, and I'll put it on the screen so you can see it, because I can't screen share. Don't ask. It's all part of the same camera changing issue, which will be rectified later today. But let's go. So it says, this is field interview, and then there's a redaction. You can see that. It says, on November 22nd, 2022, at 1:10 p.m., redaction, entered the county courthouse wearing blue jeans and a grey sweatshirt, carrying a black backpack and a sleeping bag. Mr. requested to speak with a deputy to make a tip regarding a homicide. I, deputy redaction. Don't know why they'd redact that, to be fair. Advised him that he could report the tip directly to the sheriff's office by contacting Crime Stoppers or Communications. Mr. Complete Redaction stated he did not have a phone and was walking because he just hitched rides down here this week from Idaho. I asked Mr. where the crime occurred, and he stated Moscow, Idaho, where all those kids were killed. I offered to call the Moscow Police Department and report the tip for him. Mr. provided me with a valid Idaho driver's license, number redaction. Mr. such and such provided the date of birth, September such and such, which matched the date of birth on his license. I called someone communications and had them check Mr. So-and-so for warrants and to verify the information he had provided to me. Mr. did not have any active warrants. I asked Mr. what he believed happened. Mr. stated, I know who killed those 4 kids. They're going to try and pin it on me. I asked him to clarify if he was speaking about the Idaho State University students who were killed or found killed around November 13th. And he replied, yup. I then asked him to name the individuals involved. Mr. Complete Redaction also stated that Kevin, give Kevin's name, fuck Kevin, Kevin straight under the bus, mate, even though complete redaction of the deputy who was doing the report and the person who was doing the reporting and other slight redactions to
So there's a one where they slipped up and named the guy as Kevin. Who did these? Who did this crime? You listening to this, folks?
that Kevin, give Kevin's name, fuck Kevin, Kevin straight under the bus, mate, even though complete redaction of the deputy who was doing the report and the person who was doing the reporting and other slight redactions to kind of, you know, hide people. Kevin, fuck mate. Kevin, maybe they've used a false name. Kevin, Alan, and Aaron, all of them straight under the bus, participated in the quadruple homicide, and that Kevin would have been the perpetrator, but Alan and Aaron were present or participated. Mr. Again, you're not getting his name. Also stated that Kevin, redaction there, that'll be his surname, drives enduro bikes, and that the investigators need to look for motorcycle tracks a distance away from the crime scene because Kevin is known to have committed crimes and left his bike a ways away. So he can walk to it and then get away without being recognized. I asked Mr. how he knew that these individuals were responsible for the murders, and he got defensive, stating, I lived in Moscow until last week. I just know they're going to try and frame me. I asked Mr. such and such if he had direct knowledge or had witnessed the crime, and he stated again, the police just need to look real close. Mr. such and such advised me he is homeless, but will be hanging out near the library to use their computers and the area of the courthouse for the foreseeable future. Mr. was very emotionless throughout the duration of his conversation, only showing irritation and anger when speaking about being set up or framed for the murder. Mr. such and such gave no reason for moving to North Carolina and no reason for leaving Idaho except that he just had to get out of there. Well, he said he was going to be framed. That's why he said they were going to frame him. So that was possibly the reason that he'd witnessed or had information about a horrific crime and feared that he was going to have it pinned on him. I contacted Moscow Police Department, and there's a number, at 1:47 p.m. and was given the number for the tip line, which was, and the number which I called. And then we've got this next sheet here. Alan has used the name, social security number, blah, 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 in the past. Alan lives in Pennsylvania, has used a different social security number than he is now, possibly, but not Alan's. Alan has a connection to someone else as a possible relative. Used last name. I'm sure does that say fucking Anne? Related to Anne. I don't know. No, he's to Idaho. Someone lives in New Jersey. Reported using different date of birth. No ties to Idaho. Kevin, address in Melbourne, Pennsylvania, where Alan has ties. 48 years old. Has ties to Idaho. No one has any known connection to Kevin. Poor Kevin. Then someone else, something Square, Pennsylvania, 2019, New Jersey, and some bits and pieces there. Motionless, no anger situation, possibly set up or framed.
Okay, Harsh doesn't really believe in that story. I don't think. I think he goes on to say it's. I think he kind of thinks it's rubbish or something. But I remember this story. Do you guys remember this story at all? Where a bike was used, and I'll tell you, these electric bikes can really go fast, man. I'm telling you, they can freaking move. I'm talking like 50 miles an hour. So if someone did do something like this, they could get away on a bicycle really fast. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing this in there because showing that it can be other things. I mean, somebody went in and reported this. A guy with a backpack, blah, blah, blah. Supposedly, allegedly, this happened. And I remember hearing this story a long time ago. This is nothing new. Let's see what I remember the bike, hence why I posted that info, but more so because some dudes are on the ride those bikes and quads and stuff. I know, and they're really fast, Ellie. They're really fast. I mean, they go like 50 some miles an hour. Some of those electric bikes, they can go right on streets. Right on. They're crazy. They're getting really crazy with those bikes, man. And so yeah, and yep, Life of Variety, he sure did. So there was a party very close by, and that's another thing that not many people have talked about. There was a party right close by at Matt's house. Is there a connection between that party and what happened? And there was a party at Sigma Chi. But yet it was a slow night, folks. It was a slow night. Crazy. Anyway, that one video really got to me with that showed Hunter Chapin. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine what he was all thinking. And my heart goes out to all the families because, and I'm sorry for all the speculating. But until we find out more info, that's what's going to happen. But I think my mind has been changed on the whole Dylan and Bethany thing. Does Bethany know something? Oh, I'm sure she does. Or the defense wouldn't be saying it. Did they tell more? They don't have to say everything she said in the PCA. They don't have to say everything she said. She could have said a lot more. That's something, I guess we'll have to wait and see how it goes in court. Yes, but Debbie, yes. And yes, Blackhawk, Doc, and that's another, Eden is close, and I'm surprised. Did they check his DNA? Have they checked his DNA? They found a bloody glove in between his apartment or in the backyard. And then there's that other glove that was found in between the apartment and 1122. So there's many different angles besides Brian Kohlberger. And we're going to have to wait and see how this turns out. But yeah. Anyway, that's what I have for tonight. I have one song I want to play really bad, but the video is, I would have to put a graphic content warning on it because it's pretty graphic. So I don't know about doing that. I want to play it though so bad. But anyway, I think I went over everything I wanted to go over tonight. And, may God bless all the families and friends of the victims, and God bless them too. And may God bless all of you, my mods, my subs. Again, my subs are my heart. My mods are my soul. And until next time, rock and roll.
I missed the day, but I'm too right to care anyway. I look around and see this face. What the hell have I lost my taste? Don't want to find out.
dark side of the moon. I feel there's nothing I can do. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I watch the world float to the dark side of the moon. After all, I know it has to be something to do. I really don't mind what happens now and then. As you be there in the end, my friend. Come on. If I go crazy, then will you still call me Superman? If I'm alive and well, will you be there holding my hand? I'll keep you by my side with my superhuman mind. Kryptonite. Oh yeah. You call me strong, you call me weak, but still your secrets I will keep. You took for granted all the times I never let you down. Someone did, both your head. If not for me, then you'd be dead. I built you up, put you back on solid ground. If I go crazy, then will you still call me Superman? If I'm alive and well, will you be there holding my hand? I'll keep you by my side with my superhuman mind. Kryptonite. Come on! If I go crazy, then will you still call me Superman? If I'm alive and well, will you be there holding my hand? I'll keep you by my side with my superhuman mind. Kryptonite. If I go crazy, then will you still call me Superman? If I'm alive and well, will you be there holding my hand? I'll keep you by my side with my superhuman mind. Kryptonite. Oh, no, no, thank you.